You won't believe what happened yesterday at Buckingham Palace. A tourist actually tried to grab the reins of a royal guard's horse while taking a selfie. The horse reared up. The guard had to intervene, and security rushed in. But here's the shocking part. This wasn't an isolated incident. It's happening every single day now. It's getting worse. What you're about to see in this video will make your blood boil. The level of disrespect these royal guards face daily is absolutely unacceptable. And finally, they're starting to fight back. But the question is it enough? Before we dive deep into this crisis, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're bringing you the most exclusive Royal Guard content on YouTube. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. For over 350 years, Royal Guards have stood as symbols of British tradition and discipline. These aren't just ceremonial figures, they're active military personnel. Highly trained soldiers who've served in Afghanistan, Iraq, and other combat zones. Yet somehow, tourists seem to think they're actors at a theme park. The household cavalry, mounted on their magnificent horses, represent centuries of military heritage. Each horse is worth thousands of pounds, trained for years, and treated with the utmost respect within the military. These animals aren't props for your Instagram feed. They're working military assets with their own personalities, fears, and boundaries. But what kind of people are causing these problems? Let's break down the typical, disrespectful tourist profile, because the patterns are disturbing. From analyzing hundreds of incidents, several patterns emerge. First, we've got the selfie-obsessed, usually aged 20 to 35, who see the guards as nothing more than a photo opportunity. They'll grab horses, touch guards, completely ignore boundaries, just for social media content. Then there's the entitled tourist group, often from countries where military traditions aren't as visible. They seem to believe that because they're on vacation, normal rules don't apply. They'll mock the guards, make jokes about their uniforms, and treat the whole experience like entertainment. Most concerning are the boundary pushers. People who deliberately try to make guards break character. They'll shout, wave objects, make inappropriate gestures, all hoping to get a reaction they can film and share online. What do you think when you see this behavior? Have you witnessed tourists crossing the line with royal guards? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this affects how the world sees these traditions. The guards themselves are trained to maintain composure, but they're human beings with limits. And increasingly, we're seeing those limits being tested. Here's where things get interesting. The guards aren't just standing there taking abuse anymore. We're seeing more incidents where they're asserting their authority. And honestly, it's about time. Last month, a guard at Windsor Castle shouted at tourists, who kept stepping into his patrol area despite multiple warnings. The video went viral, with millions supporting the guard's actions. The message was clear: respect the boundaries or face the consequences. But it's not just the guards. The horses are getting involved too, and these animals are incredibly intelligent. They can sense disrespect and inappropriate behavior, and they're not having it. We've seen horses step sideways to block aggressive tourists, refuse to move when people get too close, and in extreme cases, are up as a warning. One particularly smart horse at Horse Guards Parade has learned to shake his head no when tourists try to touch him inappropriately. The crowd always laughs, but the message is serious. Even the animals are fed up with the disrespect. What's your reaction when you see a royal guard or their horse stand up to disrespectful behavior? Do you think they should be more assertive? Let me know in the comments. This brings us to the big question that's dividing our community. Our viewers have been incredibly vocal about what should happen to people who disrespect the royal guards. Some of your suggestions are ... intense. Many of you are calling for immediate arrest and hefty fines to make them pay £1,000 on the spot, writes one subscriber. Others suggest public shaming, posting photos of offenders with banned status from royal sites. Some of your more creative suggestions include community service and military-related charities, mandatory education about British military history, or even short jail sentences for repeat offenders. But here's where it gets controversial. A few viewers have suggested more traditional punishments, things like public stocks, or even whipping. While I understand the frustration, we have to remember we're living in 2025. not 1725. However, the question remains valid. What level of consequence would actually deter this behavior? Current security measures involve warnings, removal from premises, and occasionally police involvement, but clearly it's not enough. What do you think is the appropriate punishment? Are we being too lenient with people who disrespect our military traditions? Should there be harsher penalties? I want to hear your thoughts, because this affects how we protect these important symbols of our heritage. Don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't already, we're building a community of people who actually respect these traditions. What makes this even more frustrating is how this behavior affects Britain's international image. These guards represent the country to millions of tourists annually. When visitors see others acting disrespectfully without consequences, it sends a message that British institutions can be mocked without repercussions. Compare this to other countries' military traditions. Try disrespecting the guards at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington Cemetery, you'll be removed immediately. Interfere with Swiss guards at the Vatican, same result. Yet somehow, British royal guards are expected to tolerate behavior that wouldn't be accepted anywhere else. The guards' training emphasizes discipline and restraint. But that doesn't mean they should be treated as living statues. These are real soldiers with real weapons, protecting real royalty and important government buildings. So what's the answer? First, clearer boundaries need to be established and enforced. Better signage, more security personnel, and immediate consequences for violations. Second, education is crucial. Many tourists genuinely don't understand the significance of what they're seeing. Brief educational materials explaining the guards' role, their military background, and appropriate behavior could make a huge difference. Third, social media platforms need to stop promoting disrespectful content. When videos of people harassing guards get millions of views, it encourages copycat behavior. But ultimately, it comes down to basic human decency. These guards deserve the same respect we'd show any professional doing their job, plus the additional respect due to their military service and the traditions they represent. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you one more time. Have you visited London and seen the Royal Guards? What was your experience like? Did you witness any disrespectful behavior? And how did it make you feel? More importantly, what do you think needs to change? Should there be stricter penalties? Better education for tourists? Or do the guards need more authority to handle situations themselves? Your comments drive these discussions, and they help shape how we think about protecting these important traditions. So don't just watch, participate in the conversation, and if you found this video eye-opening, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're covering stories about royal guards, military traditions, and British heritage that you won't find anywhere else on YouTube. The disrespect shown to royal guards is more than just bad tourist behavior. It's an attack on military tradition, British heritage, and basic human dignity. These guards have served their country with honor, and they deserve better than to be treated as theme park attractions. The fact that both guards and horses are starting to assert themselves shows how serious this problem has become. When even the animals are fed up, we've crossed a line. It's time for real consequences, better education, and a fundamental shift in how people approach these living symbols of British tradition. The question is, will we act before this disrespect becomes irreversible damage to one of Britain's most iconic institutions? What's your final thought on this crisis? Are you Team Royal Guard, or do you think they need to just deal with it as a part of the job? Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video where we'll be exploring even more shocking incidents that will leave you speechless.